So in this video we're going to try and capture the burnt look on exhaust headers. I'm doing this project for the 32 Ford Vicky that I'm building. I have this image that I'm going to try to use as my reference material, just something to look at while I'm working and trying to capture that image. Get this mounted on my tripod here. For this, I'm going to try using house colors paints. I'm going to use the pagan gold, transparent, candy tangerine, maybe a little candy red, and then I mixed up my own shade. This is a house colors paint, blue. I just put a bunch of intercoat clear in here, and then I put a little bit of blue in there to get the pigment so that it would be transparent as well. And then I think at the end of this, I'm going to try and put a little bit of pearl over the top of it to give it that effect. When you look at it, it kind of looks like it's, you know, changing. Because I'll bring this back up. If you look at that closely, there's a lot of different tones and shades in there, you know, blues and purples and reds and oranges and yellows. It's hotter coming off the actual head, and then cooler as it gets down, and that's where you get the yellow. So blue at the hottest point, yellow at the coldest point. So that's what we're going to try and capture on these. And these I made out of telescopic tubing, and these are the exhaust headers for the 32 Ford Vicky. I took a purple marker, see if I can get you in there. It's kind of hard to see an image because of my lighting. Turn you down a little bit. You see I put a couple little purple spots in there, and I did that just with a Sharpie marker. And those identify where it's going to sit off the head, and I extend it out a little bit to give me some color. So it serves two purposes. So I'm going to go ahead and pause this and get set up with the paint booth, and I'll bring you back. Sorry it took so long. I stopped and got my hair cut while you guys were waiting. How'd they do? They miss any spots? Look alright? Alright, let's get to it. Alright, for this video we're going to be using the GHAC-98D gaahleri airbrush. Taking the needle cap off so I can do some detailed work with it. We're using the gaahleri 2X compressor. I got that down to about 10 psi on the trigger. And the model number on that is the GT-918 airbrush compressor. Pretty nice. All right, let's get to it. So we're just going to shoot a little bit of the pagan gold. We're going to keep that down low and then go darker as we come up. Trying to make sure I got you in frame. Hear that? That was the compressor kicking on. That's one of them. I got to do the other one. Kind of see that a little bit. The gold in the tip. We'll do the other one real quick so we can switch up colors. And again, that was at about 10 psi on the trigger. Get the other one. And the gold tone looks pretty good. I think I forgot to do the backside on all of them. On the other one. I grab that and redo it. All right. Here's the other one we did. Hopefully you guys can see that pretty good. Now we're going to switch colors and we're going to go to the candy tangerine. So I'm going to go ahead and clean out the airbrush real quick and I'll pause this and bring you back. All right, for the next color, we're going to be using the House of Colors Candy Tangerine. It's more of an orangish look. And again, it's just going to be just a tiny bit of paint in there. Really just a couple drops. I should be using a dropper to do this, but this will be fine. I think that's plenty enough. And I'll just show you real quick. Take another look at this image. We did all the yellow up through, and then we're just kind of trying to hit some of the area coming back a little bit, real close to the head, and capture some of that orangish color, a little bit darker shade of the heated area here. Color spraying down good. And here we go. Very light on the trigger. That's one thing about this airbrush is you can really do some fine line with this thing, even though it's a 3.8 tip. You guys seen that other video I did? It was like the reveal of it, just doing some practices with it. All right, so we got the first one. Now we got that more orangish look, and that's just up here, right around those curves. Basically, is where I put that orange, and then it just kind of fades down into the yellow as it goes down, and then back into its original chrome. Get the other one done real quick, and then we'll switch colors again. This is my first time doing this too, so I'm not even 100% sure of how it's going to turn out, and if color I'm capturing is going to be correct. I think it's going good though. The only one I'm nervous about is the blue. Because in the picture there, the blue almost has a purplish effect into it, you know. That's why I put the purple marker on there. I figured that, you know, that with the blue would hopefully give me the right color tone that I'm looking for. That is chrome yellow. Oh no, I'm sorry, not chrome yellow. That's the pagan gold, and then we just did the candy tangerine. So the candy tangerine is where it, you know, starts to turn orange up at the top area at the curves. Looking pretty good so far. And I don't think I'm gonna put. I missed a spot here. I got to get the front edge of that. I don't know if you guys can see it, but I forgot it. I don't think we're going to use any apple red in there. I don't think I need it now that I'm looking at the colors and everything. I think the tangerine was good enough. So at this point, I'm going to go into the blue. Now the blue is going to be just, you know, right off the exhaust head, you know, so as closest to the head as possible, you know. And in this picture, it looks like, you know, it only comes out, you know, 2 to 3 inches. Oh, 2, 3, 4 inches out off of the head. There is where it's blued at. So I'm gonna pause you guys real quick. I'm gonna switch colors. I'm gonna get the blue in there and spray that down. We're gonna see how it looks. And if I don't really like how that looks, then I think I'm gonna put a little bit of pearl over the top of it. So get you paused and bring you right back. I thought it'd be a good idea to just bring you guys in for a quick cleaning, you know. So I'm using automotive product. It's a 1501 wash thinner. Just put a tiny bit down in there. You know, you can swish it around with a Q-tip, get everything cleaned up, and I'll run a little bit through the gun into my cleaning bowl, up and down on the trigger, just to, you know, get that needle nice and clean, and then, you know, whatever's left, I'll just dump in my scrap bucket there, and then we'll blow that out. Put another little shot of the 1501 wash thinner in there. Use the Q-tip, run that around. Now this is just what I do in between my my coats. When, you know, when you're working with the candies and stuff, quick clean. And that was the main reason why I bought this gun over my Badgers. The Badger was such a pain to clean with the little inlet and stuff, and the Badger was a siphon feed gun, where this one's a gravity feed. So, you know, if you're doing a lot of color changes and stuff, you definitely want to go with a gravity feed and in that wide opening in there that you can actually get the Q-tip down in there and clean with. You know, it just really really speeds up the cleaning process. And, like, you know, this didn't take me very long at all. It probably took me more time to stop and talk about it than to actually clean it out. So, but just like that, nice and clean. And we're going to go into the glue that I mixed up. And just a couple drops of that. And this is going to be real close to the head. That looks pretty transparent, maybe even too transparent. Let's see. That's the first one. I kind of still see the marker marks in there. But that doesn't look too bad, I think. What do you guys think? I'm gonna do that, and and maybe I'll put that pearl on there to kind of give it a flip flop effect, make it really really pronounced. Let's get the other one done. I'm almost thinking that I don't know if that purple marker was such a good idea. What do you guys think of that? I think it's not too bad. I think it's worthy. I think it's a keeper. Let me get. I don't have the pearl paint ready, so I got to shake that up and everything. Let me get that all mixed up, and I'll pause you guys and bring you right back. All right, so I got the pearl blue mixed up here. Now, this is a color I made myself. This is the House of Colors Intercoat Clear, and then it's mixed with a mica powder blue that I bought off of Amazon. So, and you don't have to use House of Colors Intercoat. You can use any Intercoat. I know like Createx has got some Intercoat clears and stuff because they do some pearl paints and things like that, and mixes and transparents. So that's pearl blue. We're going to go ahead. We'll get that in the gun, and we'll get a little bit sprayed on there and see how this looks. Actually, I forgot to clean the gun out, so I'll clean the gun out real quick. I'll bring you right back. Got everything all ready and almost forgot to turn the camera back on. All right, so we got our House of Colors. Well, it's not House of Colors. This is a custom color I mixed myself. And it's pearl blue, and we're going to just kind of go over the blue areas closest to the head, or where the head would be, just to kind of give it a little pearl effect and a little flip flop when you look at it. What do you guys think of that? Not too bad, huh? Yeah, I think that looks pretty good. That's exciting. Let me get the other one done. The other one, the marks on there are a lot darker than the one we just did. So see how that turns out. Yeah, that pearl blue. Remember what the other one looked like? That pearl blue really toned that purple down a lot and made the blue more transparent. I think that looks pretty good. All right. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and get these finished up and get them on the car. But you guys have to wait to see the rest of that. All right, like I said, that was my first time ever trying to do that and sorting out the colors and everything. And I really didn't get any help from anybody on that. That was just me kind of going out on a whim, and just kind of knowing a little bit about my paints and what they're capable of and stuff. But that was the image of the color that we were shooting for the exhaust. And this is what we come up with. That was the one, and I'll show you the other. I think, in my opinion, it worked out pretty good. Tell me what you guys think. Did I nail that, or is that an epic fail? Or what do you guys do? Maybe you guys do something easier that's even better or more cost effective, because House of Colors paint is quite expensive. I mean, granted, I only used like a fragment of paint on that to do it, but um, maybe, I don't know, maybe there's a better way. That was my first attempt at ever trying to do the hot spots on the exhaust. I seen it somewhere else before, and I was like, oh, that's pretty cool, and uh, really the House of Colors paints is the only paints that I really had to go on to try and do it with. So that's what we got, and that's what we came up with. But yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I hope this was educational for you, or maybe you guys got a better idea out there, and this is going to be more educational for me. But either way, I appreciate it. You guys have a great day. I thank you. I thank all my subscribers, and you guys are great. And with that said, have a great day. Thank you.